Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam. How's it going, man?
Man, it's actually going pretty good.
Alhamdulillah. That's
And
good,
not yeah, not complain. You sound like you're in the middle of tax season
man.
and Ramadan at the same time.
Same time, brother. That's it.
Yeah,
Trying.
one of my friends texted me last night. He said, "You got about 5 more days, man. Hold on."
Yeah, I have. Boy, them clowns been killing me, man. Whoa. I have a client. She's been a client a little while. Every year she brings me food and I get a return done.
Mhm.
So it is about 2 o'clock. And they opened a new Yemeni restaurant down in my shopping center. And she bought a plate from there, man. She brought it in my office. I mean, that food was kicking. It was kicking, brother. So when she left, I thanked her and everything, right?
Mhm.
Then when she left, there's a brother has a tattoo shop, him and his wife, in the same court I'm in. And he's a new Muslim. He took shahada. So I took the food down to them. I said, this is for y'all iftar. His wife ain't not Muslim, but I took the food down to them. I said, y'all can have this for the night. I mean, it was kicking, brother. I had to get rid of her.
Like what did that guy say? What was that? There's a movie back in the 1990s. I want to say it was Chris Rock played a crack addict. Oh, New Jack City. Remember New Jack City?
Hmm.
When they were talking to him and they were talking to him about his addiction. And he said, it was calling me, man. It was calling me. That food was calling you. You had to get rid of it. Oh, man.
So, yeah, it was calling me. I said, no, I had to get rid of her. I said, hope she don't come back and say she forgot something and the food gone. Yes, sir. I had to get rid of it. Alhamdulillah.
Mm.
She meant well.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Yeah. She just, I don't know. You see, if she had brought it at what? About 7:35 in the evening.
Yeah. Well, I was going to the masjid that it was Friday. I was going to the masjid to break fast.
Hmm.
So
You could have taken it to the masjid.
no, they had a lot of food there, brother.
Did they? Okay.
Bunch of food there. So alhamdulillah, at least I helped the Muslim out, you know.
Oh, that's good. Did you see those State Department notices
Yeah, I did, man.
that I sent out?
Yeah, I did.
I didn't see anything on Yemen or anything like that in there. So, I was thinking about Sudan and Haiti. I think there's one
Hmm.
other, Ethiopia.
Yeah, I think they threw an Asian country in there, didn't they?
Yeah, Burma
Burma, yeah,
or whatever they call it these days.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But I don't think, Burma has they've been going through basically what amounts to a civil war.
Yeah,
But I don't think there's that many of the Muslims who were in Burma that came to the United States that would have to be concerned about.
we had to throw somebody in there to say it all about black folk.
Oh, I know. That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Had to get some East Asian, I mean East Asians in there so they can justify their death.
Yeah, that's gonna be it'll be an interesting scene in South Florida to get those Haitians to go back.
Mhm.
Man,
Yes.
little Haiti, there's
Yeah.
so many Haitians there.
Yeah.
And they do not want to go back to Haiti. I mean, they go back to visit, but I'm talking about go back to live. They don't want
Right.
to go back to live.
And build up so much, man.
Hmm. Yeah. And they have created their own, I mean, really and truly, they have wonderful neighborhoods, especially the ones in Miami.
Hmm.
And the food, the culture, they take care of each other.
Hmm.
I'm not saying they don't have some bad actors, but for the most part, they I go there for the food. The food's incredible. It's just fantastic food. So
I was.
I actually kind of hate to see that torn apart.
Hmm. Hmm. I was on must have been on YouTube. They were talking about a city in Georgia. It's where Lake Lanier is.
Okay, yeah, I've been to Lake Lanier several times in my life. It's
Yeah.
right up, what is that, 85? I think it is, I guess. Yeah, 85 from out of Atlanta. Yeah.
So anyway, they accused back in the day. They accused somebody of raping a white lady,
Hmm.
and they came and burnt the town down,
Yeah,
and then eventually they flooded, put the town under Lake Lanier.
exactly. Yeah.
I forgot the name of the town. And then look at all those people that lost their land, whatever.
Hmm.
And that's similar to what they're trying to do to Haiti, except they didn't kill them, but they killed those people. Yeah, man, these guys are something else, brother. Yeah, something else.
Yeah, you have to know that going in, though. I mean, we have we've had over 400 years in the United States of America, not even counting what went before when the Europeans came en masse to, West Africa.
Hmm.
If people are going to spend, what, 1,000 years, almost 1,000 years, say from, well, okay, 1,100 years. Is that right? 15
Right.
from 1,500 to 20. Well, I guess that's only 500 years, 500 plus years. If they're going to spend 500 plus years showing you exactly who they are,
Hmm.
at some point in time, start believing it, right? You
Yeah.
don't keep calling them a liar. No, man, you're not like that. You're not racist. Oh, no, 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 no. You can't make me believe that you're racist, or whatever. But if they keep trying to prove it to you over and over again, at some point in time, you have to just throw your hands up and go, okay, you you convinced me,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And you start putting in place and doing the things that you need to do to buffer yourself against that.
You'd be crazy not believing what they show.
Exactly. They're trying to get you to understand them. You know, they they make an effort.
They're basically trying to undo what the federal government allowed to be done.
Yeah,
They're trying to undo it,
right. For their benefit.
of course.
I mean, if it benefited them, if they could find a way for it to benefit them for what the federal government had done to undo the effects of slavery, they would promote that, you know.
Hmm.
But they haven't figured out a way to make that work for them to the extent that they wanted to. Or you might say that they've milked that as much as they can. right? I mean, like civil, parts of the Civil Rights Act, especially when it came to diversity and things like that. Oh, okay, wow, let's just declare our white women to be a part of a minority class and put them as the head of a business and get all this money. So they've about milked that as far as they can milk it. And any other thing that they figured out a backdoor to milk it. Now they just want to tear the whole thing down and start over and be totally transparent in the fact that they just want to rule and everybody else be their doormat.
Right. Yeah. And while at the same time, they're deflecting the greed that they're doing, you know. I mean, they're milking the system, right?
Mm-hmm. Of course.
And
Yeah.
but they know doing those things will give the red meat to the rabid racists in the community
Right.
and keep them supporting it, even though they're not benefit from it. It
Right.
is.
But those racists, they're just so sure that eventually they're going to be invited in the house,
Mm,
that they don't have to sit at the wood benches outside in the cold and the rain and eat their meal.
hmm
That eventually those rich cousins of theirs are going to let them come in the house and sit at the big boys' table.
hmm
I don't see it happening. Every now and then they let one of them run in the house and get a plate,
hmm
stay for a minute, but he got to go back outside pretty quickly.
hmm
And I don't think they're never going to figure that out either. The ones who are outside, they're never going to figure that out. That those people on the inside don't like them. In fact, 40 something years ago, a white man told me that they dislike those people more than they dislike us.
hmm
He said, because those people have no excuse.
None whatsoever. Got the advantages of white privilege and ain't using it.
Exactly.
That's a shame.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Rabbani. Assalamu alaikum, Imam Talib.
How you doing, bro?
I am great.
I'm liking brothers.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, well, alaikum salam. I'm gonna be on the phone for a minute
Okay.
while I am going up to my office to get on my computer. But
Okay.
I'll be listening in the meantime, and if I need to jump in, I will.
Okay.
No.
Oh,
Assalamu alaikum. I don't know who 214549 is, but if you would identify yourself, I'll be happy to replace your telephone number with your actual name so that random people don't start calling your phone.
Hello, Edward. This is Felicia in Dallas.
Ah, assalamu alaikum, sister. How are you?
I thought I'd sneak in on you.
Well, this is good. This is very good. You must be you on your way to church or already in the car, or are you still at home?
No, I'm at home.
Okay. It's been a while.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has.
So I probably need to talk to you offline one of these days and can bring me up to date on how your candidates did in the primaries.
Do you get down to the DeSoto area often?
Every now and then, because I have cousins that live in DeSoto and Lancaster.
Oh, okay, okay. Because my office is in the same place, and I would love for you to stop by and yeah, we could talk up a storm.
Yeah, I'll try to make it down there. Because I mean, yeah, you sent me information because I know a few months back you had some space there that you were trying to lease
Hmm.
out in that complex as well. So yeah, I'll call
Right.
you and make an appointment and come down there and we catch up.
Yeah, and then maybe we can go to maybe Papa Do's, or you can take me somewhere else where you may know the owners or whatever.
Okay,
All right,
that's
it's a date.
it is a date. We'll take care of that.
Okay, I'm gonna go back on mute.
All right then. For those of you who don't know, that is Sister Felicia Davis. She's been a supporter of Graceline and our efforts to start a credit union. Wow, I want to say back as far as maybe 2018, 2019. I mean, she predates COVID as being an early person that was a supporter of ours. In fact, we used the office address that she just referenced when we initially started working on this. We used her office address as correspondence with NCUA and IRS, so on and so forth. So she's been a big part of our effort. And I know even though she's not in all the meetings, she always has us in her thoughts and prayers. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Hassan.
Walaikum salam.
I need to talk to you. Are you going to be available this afternoon?
Inshallah.
Okay. Did you get that item taken care of?
No,
Oh,
I got so far and then I didn't know I got to the end of it. It looked like I wasn't sure whether I should accept what I thought that I was getting or not.
okay. We'll
So
talk about it this afternoon then, get that cleared up.
sure, okay.
All right. All right. It is 14 after. We'd say we'd give them another minute, but that probably is not necessary. So, Imam Adam, would you open us up this morning?
Yes, sir. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين.
And well, welcome everyone. Welcome Imam Tariq.
Assalamu alaikum Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak, brother. So we are entering the stretch last week of Ramadan coming up with Blessed Eid staring us in the face at the end of this coming week. I'm sure that all of us that are fasting hopefully everybody's had a wonderful Ramadan and, just feel strengthened and encouraged as we go into this last week. The other thing is it's the week before the beginning of our financial seminars. And comes Brother Omar now. I know that we were able to make the changes that we needed to make as far as the registration portal for people to be able to register and pay. Heard from a couple of people that they have now been able to go through that and be able to register for the seminars and do it seamlessly. So that is good news. So it's, encouraging everybody to, again, just as a reminder, go out on all of the social media sites, email contacts, anybody that you think could benefit from the seminars, and definitely people that you think would obviously help us to share that information with the broader community, put all that information out there again. And so that, people know and they can make that decision to be a part of everything. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Omar.
Walaikum assalam. How you?
I am doing well.
Ramadan
And
Mubarak.
we had Assalamu alaikum, Sister Khalida. So Omar
Walaikum assalam.
Omar did a great job this week. Sister Martha, Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak to you.
Alaikum assalam, Ramadan Mubarak to everyone. I thank you.
Yeah.
Mubarak.
Omar did a great job this week in updating all of the registration and payment information for the upcoming seminars. And, I think Omar probably heard from the same people I did that it's now a seamless, easy process to get registered and pay and all that. So kudos to Omar for taking care of that. And everything is going well. We actually even have a couple of contributions, small ones, on Launch Good. So continue to monitor that as well, since we were able to get that up this year, finally. So things on that front are looking up. So I think that's Omar, that's just what you did this week, in the back and forth with the sister especially, I think was great.
Alhamdulillah. I did what I did realize though when Sister Patricia entered her information, she was able to skip fields and go directly to the payment field. So unfortunately, the system did not capture her information to be able to automatically send her the link and the instructions on how to download the PDF. I went in this morning and fixed that. So these are required fields before you can. I forgot to toggle to make it a required field before you can go directly to payment.
Okay.
So I took care of that this morning. So any future individual that signs up, they have to fill those fields out before completing the payment.
Okay.
But I will reach out to Sister Patricia separately and get that information for her so that I can send her the information that she needs to access the class.
Okay. Very good.
Assalamu alaikum. While we on this subject, Friday I took a look at the site and I saw where the changes had been made, but one thing that I did notice, and I went back to take a look at the PDF book that Omar sent out, I think maybe back in January. But what I've noticed is I didn't see anywhere on our site where someone could purchase the book. Just the book, they just want the book. Or did we decide that if you want the book, you have to take the class. Was
No,
that
yes, that was exactly what was decided, Imam,
okay?
was
Okay,
that in order to receive the book, the class is a complement to the workbook.
okay. No,
Uh,
that's fine. So
okay.
we're not going to offer. And here's why I'm asking. When I went to open the link that you sent, which initially we were going to put on our website, when I went to open that link up, it actually opened up the book.
Oh, did it
And I
really?
know and I know that was not our intent.
Well, was
So
that on the website?
no, it was not on. No.
Let me on the
This
job
was
form?
this was on. No, this was when this was something you sent to us back in January.
Oh,
You sent us a copy of the book, and I'll give you the date that you did all this, but you sent us a copy of the book along with a link. And that link was supposed to go to Flipcars so that if
oh,
people wanted to just order the book, they could.
right. And I don't think that we ever completed that task to have it added to the
Okay.
website for
Right.
people
No,
to
and
download the book.
I did not send it to Flipcars to ask them to do that. The only thing I sent to Flipcars was the flyer.
I understand. I understand.
Okay. So no,
Yeah, so
don't panic. That's not,
okay, all right. I was a little bit getting a little anxious
no,
there, a little bit.
no,
Would
no.
let me ask you guys, would we have interrupted that action because of the notice that we got from Flipkars about their payment portal issues?
It probably would have. It probably would not have been a completed action if they're unable to accept
Right,
Yeah.
payments. Yeah.
right,
Because I
right,
think we probably were going to do that. At one time, I know that we were probably going to allow people to buy the book,
right.
but Flipkars' issues canceled it out because we had no means of them accepting payment for the book. I'm just spitballing because I don't remember why that discussion. I had to go back and look at the notes about the discussions we had around that. But it just seems to me that that's something that would have put that on pause.
That is correct. But I think now that we have uh, Zephy,
Hmm.
that process can be completed there because we can create a product on that web, on that platform where people can go to. It directs them to that platform to purchase the book. Um, and I would need to kind of sit down and think it through
Mhm.
from a logistics standpoint,
Yep,
on how we can do that and ensure that it is a seamless process.
right.
Um, so let let me think that through. Right now, I'm concentrating on the webinar and making sure that the links
Right.
work and everything and the logistics there are working. That's how I
Okay.
caught Sister Patricia's registration. Was it?
Okay.
That's how I caught that this morning because I was saying, wait a minute, now I got a statement. I mean, I got an announcement that she paid, but I don't have anything in job form. So
Mhm.
I said I must didn't toggle anything. So I figured that out.
Okay.
But all of that is straight now. But let me concentrate on making sure that the webinar stuff is straight, and then I jump on this getting the product into Zephy.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's good. And I'm just it will give us an opportunity too to gauge um the community's response. And when I say the community, anyone that attends the webinars over the next 5 to 6 months, it'll give us an opportunity to be able to gauge, people's responses to it. Because one of the things I'm glad about is that it it isn't online for people to just purchase outright. Only because I just think the majority of people would not know how to use it to get the best results. Because this financial freedom plan that's been put together, it appears to be designed so that each module, that is each 50, 30, 20, that's where you're going to get your success. If you only do one of the three, you'll be satisfied to have some savings. But that may be short-lived if you've not taken a look at your expenses, if you've not taken a look at that portion of your money that you're keeping for yourself. You may cut back on those things that you spend on yourself and your family, but then where's that money going? I kind of view these modules so that we help people go through the process so that the success is going to come with you doing all three. They're sort of intertwined. And once you give people the book, there's going to be that percentage of folk that's going to be going through it, and all they want to do is critique it. And that's fine because we've sold the book. It's yours to do as you please with it. But I think for us as Graceline, we would like to. I know I would like to know that this has worked for people, that they've tried it. Something that they can go and once they see it's working for them, they can go and tell others, because word of mouth is going to be the best advertisement that we can get. So, I'm kind of glad that it's not there right now, because we've got we've got a big job to do just in terms of even getting people to seriously recognize that they need to, rein in their financial situation, so that they can live to see another day and are not struggling as they start to age. And look, maybe some of them are already of age and still haven't figured it out. So we have the opportunity to be a big help to folks. But I am going to. I sent copies of the email that I sent to Masjid Muhammad. It did not go into this week's newsletter, but I am going to send another email, if not today, tomorrow, inshallah, making the same requests. So, I mean, that'll, and I'm going to also send the flyer to a connected network that goes through Masjid Muhammad as well, and get certain people to spread the word to the people that are on their list. Because they're always sending me something, so this is my opportunity to send something back to them. So that's pretty much my report. I'm going to put myself on mute because I'm going up to my office so I can actually actually get online. I wanna see all y'all's pretty faces. So, so give me
Hey,
a,
Talib,
yeah.
Talib, Talib, assalamu alaikum.
Well,
Send me a copy, CC me a copy of your flyer, okay?
okay. Well,
That
it's
way
the flyer that it's the same flyer that Omar produced,
okay,
but I'll
okay,
send it to you. Sure. Yeah, I'll send
okay,
it.
all right, no
And
problem.
anyone else that wants it, I'll send it out. Inshallah. Just give me a moment. I'm going upstairs.
Okay, no problem.
Assalamu alaikum. So, Imam Talib, I have been thinking about the same thing you have I mean, you expressed here, some value added products that can reinforce what people are taking away from the webinars.
Mhm.
I am having some discussions with Shahida about creating an app.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, okay.
but right now I don't know if that app is going to be under Graceline
Mm-hmm.
or if that app is going to be a value added product that is going to be under OTM.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is that there's some upfront monies that must be, put out to
Right.
the app.
Okay.
And it is an app that tracks progress. So you enter,
Mm.
it is subscription based. That people can, based on what they want displayed on their dashboard, it gives them certain access to suggestions on how to attain the goal that they have set for themselves at the beginning when they sign up.
Okay.
And it tracks that progress. And every week it gives them suggestions on if they are meeting that goal, if they're falling behind, where they can take money away maybe from their 50 percent allocation, or maybe their 20% allocation. So it makes those suggestions to them. And Shahida and I are working through that app. We will be beta testing the app just to make sure that it's user friendly, that people find it useful, et cetera, before the full launch. But that's a value added product that will complement the webinars.
Well, and would you and I'm only speaking for myself, but I'm also going to assume at some point you'll at least let us know what that cost is, so that we could, as Graceline, invest in that opportunity as well.
Yes, sir. Definitely.
Unless
She and I are working through all of, because we don't want this to be expensive. We don't want to lock people out. So, we want to keep the costs to a minimum, but it would be a subscription based type of access to um
right, yeah, and I would say to you, my thought on it right now is that if Graceline has some ownership in it, then once we get the credit union up and running, even in the process of doing that, I think is going to look good, one, on our application for a credit union, or in where I am right now, in terms of us buying one. Um, we would want to, I would think we would want to incorporate that into our new credit union, as something for the members, that they could easily access, and um, you know have that app do what it does, so that we get a more informed customer. So Yeah, that's no, I didn't realize you all were working on an app. So yeah, let's keep doing that because all of these little things we're doing are going to add up. So yeah, I can support that as well. Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, I mean, we talked also about a newsletter that accompanies the webinar that is also subscription based. So people will pay a small subscription, right, to
Okay.
continuously receive inspiration
Right.
through the newsletter. And we did talk about that being a value added product to the webinar.
Okay.
So we can definitely take a look at how we can partner app newsletter because some people may decide I'm not technical savvy. I'd rather just receive a newsletter and be able to read something. Other
Hmm.
people like the plug and play, right? And you
Right.
give me feedback on plug and play.
Right.
So trying to appeal to different audiences that we attract into this program.
Right. Right. So where they may not be savvy enough to go through the some of the processes of the app, they certainly have the ability to be able to read like how to improve your credit, how to reduce your debt, whatever those articles may cover.
That is correct.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's okay. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah, that'll work. All right, let me go upstairs. I'm gonna jump off, but I'm gonna jump off so
Omar,
there won't be no feedback.
Yes,
Uh,
sir.
Let
Omar.
him let
Yeah.
him make it. Let him make it. Also, I want quick
Oh,
question. Something we talked about probably a couple of months ago is that individuals who purchase the book who either do or do not attend the seminars of having giving them the opportunity to have one-on-ones, to actually have one of us work with them through the booklet as they move through it in planning out their finances. That's one thing. The other thing we talked about was the potential for actually training individuals
Yeah, that
to
is
be able
correct.
to be able to do this particular kind of work in their communities.
That is correct. So those were the different kind of funding streams that we did discuss. Having a pool of individuals that we train under this method, and those individuals will go into their communities and teach this in their communities. We talked about that as being a revenue stream, and we talked about also having one-on-one financial advisors that will be available to individuals. Once they receive that training, they can become um, uh, counselors. I hate to say advisors because advisors is a different certification process, but main so you will be coaching people through the process, so you become competent in the methodology that we use, and you will become a coach or a trainer, right? That can train that can take up this process and do webinars or train in person workshops. So we did discuss that, Brother Edward, around having those different types of revenue streams: the newsletter, the coaching aspect of the program, and then the one-on-one coaching for individuals that may need that extra support. But we're going to need more individuals, right, to step up and want this type of training, because I'm just one individual. So we're going to need other folks to come on board, want to learn this method, the process, and be able to place themselves to be able to take on the webinars, take on additional workshops, become one-on-one coaches in this process. Inshallah. I really see that as a really good pathway for Graceline.
Okay. Brother Rabani, I think I interrupted you at one point. So I think you had
Oh,
a question or two.
I was just gonna offer in putting together the flyer or either the booklet to use some of the graphics that we developed for Graceline Credit Union to embellish
Hmm.
the form, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think we can
Okay.
use that both in all everything that we do. In fact, it's
Exactly.
really
Okay.
almost
Hmm.
criminal that we haven't used that
Hmm.
stuff as much as we should have. We should be incorporating that in, excuse me, into everything that we put out.
That's a good suggestion.
Yeah.
I would definitely work on that today to pull that into the job form.
Hmm.
So, Imam Talib, are you online yet? I know he went upstairs to get on his computer, I think. So give him a minute. But I did want
Yeah,
to
I just turned my computer on, so I'm gonna
okay.
jump off so I can jump back on.
Okay.
All right, inshallah.
It's one of the things I was going to mention to him, and something he has been working on, or I know that he wants to work on, um, that as we move into, the late spring and early summer, that maybe several of us could actually put some time in, and that is going in and examining some of the smaller credit unions that are not growing, that are kind of stagnant, that we may have an opportunity to actually go in and take over those credit unions. And I know takeover is a strong word to use. Anybody can come up with a better term than the one that I just threw out there. I'm open to it, but
Acquire.
Choir.
acquire. Well, I mean, since
Hmm.
you can't buy a credit union, right? You're talking about a nonprofit. So it's not like it has a purchase price. Like if you want to buy a bank, you can actually buy a bank because that bank has stock that has a price, and you can actually get a valuation on it. You can actually buy a bank. Can't really buy a credit union. I guess you can assume control. Maybe that's the term. Assume control. It's possible to assume control of a credit union. We are aware of at least the effort to do that in northern Mississippi by someone who's part of our community and some business partners of his. So we know that that's a viable thing. In fact, we know it's a viable thing because it was presented to us as an option 2 or 3 years ago. So we know it's viable. And we've talked about it as being a shorter path to accomplishing what we want to accomplish. Probably less capital intensive. So I guess I'm just reminding us as we move into the season where we're doing these seminars, we're making a push to be a much more significant part of this whole financial discussion around our community and the greater community. That we should now use that energy to push ourselves forward into doing some research into assuming control of a struggling credit union or two.
And I failed. He destroyed a 10,000 man army with.
Yeah, I want to write that down. So we no longer trying to buy one. We want to assume control. All right, we can do that. So I don't know. I don't know if this is the meeting that we want to do this or not. That is to have a discussion on how we do that. Because I'm imagining that it's going to require research, verifications, pulling whatever documents we can get, and I'm going to call them public documents that we could get from NCUA. And this is not in any particular order, but what is, I'm asking because I don't know, what would NCUA's involvement be in acquiring a credit union? I don't know what the answer is to that, but I'm sure certain research is going to bear out what level of involvement they would be in and what approvals we had to seek from them. I think the example that was used or given to us for Mississippi, from what I recall, they seem to have had an inside person who then brought in a couple other people and essentially took over the board. I think in the corporate world, they call it a hostile takeover. But I don't know how often something like that occurs. So it sounds to me, if that's not a frequent occurrence, then we're going to have to explore other ways and methodologies of being able to acquire a credit union.
Look, it
Yeah.
could have been a friendly takeover.
You said it.
You
Well,
said
yeah, I guess
hostile.
if I was
It
in
might not have
enough
been
trouble,
hostile. No, I mean, they might have agreed on it. They might be glad it happened. And so it could have been a friendly takeover, not hostile takeover.
okay, all right, that's a positive outlook, and it's in it and it's in keeping in the spirit of Ramadan. I don't have to always think so negative, but yeah, and that being the case, there could be credit unions out there like that would be glad to have someone like us come in and acquire them, and they'd be thanking God and we'd be thanking God too. So but what I'm getting at is 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 us dedicating a meeting to that discussion, and laying out a sort of outline or plan in terms of us following through on this. Because we do have these these upcoming webinars, but I think with the number of people who have joined us, there could be some outline that we could develop, and people could volunteer to follow through on some of those assignments, and then be able to report back to us. And I would suggest in this case that we give everyone, once someone has an assignment, we make an effort, or we make an effort as a group, where that person will give us a date that they would be, where they think they would be able to report out on whatever their assignment was, so that we can stay on point and stay on target in terms of getting this done. So right now the question is, do we want to start having that discussion now, or do we want to table it until I don't know. I would hope it would be sometime soon. Next Sunday we should be through Ramadan, inshallah. Maybe we want to do it then. I just don't know what the pleasure of the group is. And for those who may be questioning this process, I'm only pushing it because of something Edward made me aware of last week, is that NCUA has moved the goalpost, and that's my language, not his. Where we were once looking at trying to get some verifiable names under 1,000 members. Now it seems that NCUA wants 5,000 verifiable names.
Well, closer to 3,000.
Okay, well,
yeah,
3,000
to 3,500, somewhere in
Okay.
that range.
Okay. So I mean so that's why I'm saying the numbers have. I mean, or let me just ask you, Evan, because you seem to be more familiar with this. It is my assessment that the goalpost has been moved.
Yes.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, they have basically, what happened with the new administration coming in, the executive branch, they replaced pretty much the entire board of NCUA with a more conservative board of directors. That board of directors is much more tilted toward commercial banks, more or less, and they thought there was some liberalization of the number of credit unions that were being created. So they basically put some policies in place to make it a little bit tougher. I mean, they haven't gone way too far, but they have, like you said, and I think it's a good term to use, they've moved the goalpost a little bit. There was no absolute, like, you got to have this many members in your organization requirement when we initiated this process. The basic requirement was that you wanted to survey 300 to 400 people, which if you get 300 to 400 surveys back, that's representative of a larger number of people in the whole. If you're not going to get 100% of people in your service area to complete a survey. So that number, you can extrapolate that out to whatever, could be 10,000, 12,000, whatever, but 300 to 400 people do a survey. That was satisfactory to NCUA. They still want the survey.
Right.
But now they also want you to show them raw numbers.
They want you to show what?
Raw numbers
Okay,
of,
okay.
of people. Like in our case, because we're a single common bond, which is, like saying you're the BFW Hall or, Longshoreman's number 291 or something.
Mhm.
You're representing a particular group. They want numbers instead of just surnames.
Okay.
So, but I'm with you. I think that those of us who are willing and have the time, that we should divide up any list that we have of credit unions that might be stagnant, might be in trouble, whatever, and gather as much information as possible. There are ways to research credit unions. I mean, NCUA puts some data out themselves. It gives you information on who the individuals are in the credit union, how to contact them, their size of the capital, number of shareholders that they have, some historical data. Every credit union has to file a report every year. So there are ways of assessing that data. And we're not going to cover all of that obviously today, but as Imam Talib said, maybe we set a date where we kind of go through the process of gathering that information, what to look for, and that gives every one of us who's involved the information we need or training we need to then go out and do some research, maybe even pick up the phone and make a phone call to the credit union. And, we set a date in the future to report back on what we've learned, with some ideas maybe that, hey, these people sound like they might be interested in the things that would normally, why would you take over, or why is a credit union not growing? Is it their marketing plan? Is it the fact that they're maybe a newspaper union and newspapers we know are shrinking size, so they're losing members instead of gaining members?
Right.
Those types of things. Those particular credit unions might be right to have some injection of new ideas,
Right.
new
Okay.
shareholder members coming from another community to join with the ones that they already have.
Mhm.
That way, as Adam said, it's not a hostile takeover. It's more of a marriage, a union, right? You're bringing something positive to that situation. You're adding board members to, give yourself the ability to implement some of the ideas and changes that you want in that credit union, and do it without a great deal of disruption.
Okay. All right. As part of that process, and you might be good at this, Edward, is to help us to develop I don't know what they call it, but I don't know exactly what they call it, but when I first went into real estate, and I joined this office, they wanted us to make cold calls. These were numbers that we were provided in a particular area where they wanted us to essentially find out whether or not they would the person on the other end was either interested in selling their home or moving. But we were given it's like a spiel,
Yeah.
an introduction.
Yeah. 500 a day. That's what Merrill Lynch had me doing.
Okay.
Right out of
So
college.
I did pick
500 a
the right
day.
person. Okay. Okay. And so I'm imagining that once we identify these credit unions, um, we will appear to be a little bit more professional in terms of our process and procedure when we go to speak to these folk, if we at least sound like we halfway know what we're talking about. It doesn't have to, and what I'm looking for is something that would allow us to study and then be able to naturally put in to our own words so that we're at a certain comfort level that we are not we don't appear to be reading from a script.
Right. I'm with you. So this is an idea. And I think all of us were present when Brother Ali came on and talked to us about the credit union that they were basically taking over the board in northern Mississippi. And there were some of us, I know I had this discussion with Adam, where we went and looked at the balance sheet, or the report that credit union had filed. We could see what their assets were. We could see, at least at their last reporting date, the number of shareholders that they had. We could even see their lines of business. We were able to determine that their primary source of income, other than investment income or the monies that were deposited with them, was automobile loans. We could determine that they had zero home loans, they had zero home improvement loans. I mean, everything was automobiles. 100% of the loans that they made were automobiles. We were able to determine that. So based on that, I mean, if you were going in and you were going to assume control of that credit union, you knew already some areas of improvement that you would need to make, right? To be able to sustain that credit union, have it grow, have more of the community involved in it, want to be a part of it, that type of thing. So it's really how do you access that data, right? And once you access that data, do you know what you're looking at? When you're looking at their financial statements, do you understand the numbers that you're seeing?
Is that data from NCUA?
That data is from NCUA because every credit union has to file an annual report. Right? So you try to get the most up-to-date annual report that you can. Maybe you look at 2 or 3 years to see if there's a trend, right? If it's trending in a certain direction, like maybe they're losing share members, like in the newspaper business. Anybody like you follow, what happened at Washington Post here in the last 60 days, right? So that's happening all across the country in that particular industry. It happens in other industries. If there's a credit union, I think there's one in Charlotte. It's either Charlotte or Raleigh, North Carolina. There's a credit union there that serves the newspaper, print industry, whatever. That was on one of the lists that we got several years ago. Haven't gone back and looked at that list, but one of our Hope Hart, who was participating with us, she had pointed that particular one out. She had lived in North Carolina. She was familiar with that credit union. Hey, maybe you guys should pinpoint this credit union. We never went any farther with it, but that's just an example, right? Just like the Northern Mississippi Credit Union is just an example of potentialities. We just need to find one that makes sense to us and that is in an area that would be in other words, it needs to be somewhere that there's a large enough population of IWDM members, followers, whatever you want to say it, that it would actually be beneficial to our community, right?
Okay.
And other things have to fall into place, obviously, but that is definitely one of the thoughts. I mean, if it was in Washington, D.C., if it was in Charlotte, if it was in St. Petersburg, Florida, if it was in Miami,
Okay. So it would make it easier
Philadelphia.
for us. Okay.
Well, yeah, because we can show that there's a service area for us to serve. I mean, we're proving this to ourselves. Number one,
Mhm.
right, is that okay? Oh, yeah, there's a great credit union that's in Stillwater, Oklahoma. We can go in and assume control of that.
Mhm.
There's 8 Muslims in Stillwater, so
Right.
we're going to be right there in the heart of Stillwater.
Right. Right.
Might be a great situation just to have credit, but it might not necessarily serve our community in the way that we want to.
Right. Right.
So you have
Right.
to taking all this into consideration.
So the one question that came to mind, um, well, a couple things. One is from what you just said, um, we all need to be making a dua that Allah drops the perfect credit union to acquire in our laps. But the other thing that raised a question for me is since we are pursuing a single common bond, um, does it make a difference that the credit union we may want to require is a multiple
No,
common bond one?
no, I actually did the research on that. It does not matter.
Okay, all right.
So you just have to NCUA makes the assumption. This is their own language, basically.
Now, are you
They
getting when you telling us this stuff about NCUA?
Mhm.
Did you just go on their website and do this
Yes.
research?
Yeah, I go on their website and do
Okay,
the research. You might have to
okay,
spend 10 minutes to get to the right page because they
okay,
have so much stuff on their website. I mean, it's
okay,
just too much
all right,
information. But
okay,
yeah, what you basically find is you get to the case studies and you start reading that so and so community bank now assumed control of such and such credit union in Des Moines, Iowa, or this credit union now assuming control of another credit union in another area. They were one kind of credit union. They now assume control of a credit union that was, say, multiple common bond.
okay.
And there's a process by which you go through to make a change in that designation. It may take 60, 90 days,
Mm,
to do all of the paperwork, change the credit union that was assumed from a multiple common bond to a single common bond or whatever.
mhm.
And all of the share members, people that have deposits there, they are simply grandfathered in. They don't get kicked out, still members of
Right,
the credit union,
right,
right? You're just grandfathered in. And the thing that takes longest is the name change,
okay,
right? Like
okay,
if we're going to take over Newspaper Associates of America Credit Union, but we want it to be Graceline Federal Credit Union. That takes months to go through that whole name change process. You put the announcements out,
right,
blah,
okay,
blah, blah. November 1st, this is becoming Graceline, whatever, but it takes time. But that's the ancillary stuff. You're
right.
still,
But
right?
now, if we were to acquire a multiple common bond credit union,
Hmm.
could we keep it that way?
We could. Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right,
Yeah. You
okay,
could do that.
okay. All right. I'm gonna have to go on that website and um because you seem to have a wealth of information on all the questions that I have. So I think it's gonna be worth it for me to go on and see what you see so that we can be in lockstep with each other as we're going through this process. Um, Because
Yeah, I
I,
mean,
yeah,
what I might do, and because I do cut and paste some of that. I just have to go back and go through and see what I did cut and paste, to keep like in a separate file. Because I hate going to NCUA's website and having to go back and re-find what I found the
okay.
last time.
Is it that
It's
bad?
it's it's a maze. It's
Okay,
a maze.
okay.
It's not fun. So I'll see what I have saved, and the other thing is just I'll go back and maybe dedicate a morning or an afternoon to pulling that stuff together so that what I find can be shared. And, anybody that wants to do that, and then we could all compare notes and, you know, basically put the best plan in place for us to
Now,
move forward on
to
that.
your knowledge, has have you heard whether or not NCUA has taken a stand on this congressional bill that's working its way through Congress? A Durbin Marshall um, credit card act, or no, credit card competition act. Some of you
Is that the 10% cap? That's not the 10% cap deal, is it?
No, this is the one, the one that drew my interest and that of my family, and probably it'll draw the interest of many other folk. Is just part of this Durbin Marshall Act, congressional act, would wipe out points. Um, when you use a credit card, you get points that you can use for, sometimes for flight, airlines, pay off your bill. Some of them allow you to get cash, gift cards, things of that nature. The crux of the bill, as I understand it, is this bill would open up competition for third party processors. So right now, pretty much every credit card in America goes through Visa and MasterCard. Some sort of process through them, and you are forced to pay whatever fees they have set for your industry and your business. This new bill would open it up to independent, it would open it up for competition, that someone else could set up a processing center and charge less fees. Like right now, if you've ever gone online to pay a bill and you're using a credit card, sometimes, particularly with some governments and other entities, you'll get a pop-up message where there's a line item where you're going to pay 2.5, 1.5, 1 3/4, 3% if you're using a credit card. So if you've got a $100 bill, you're going to pay an additional $3, which covers the merchant fee that Visa or MasterCard is going to charge the company that you're doing business with. So they're only going to get $97. So what these entities are starting to do, in fact, I do it in one of my businesses. When you use a credit card to order products, the 2.5, we charge 2.5. I think it's 3%. We charge 3% of addition to whatever it is that you order, and that's separate. If that's separate from a shipping fee, if you're not eligible for free shipping. So I don't know where it is in Congress, but I do know that I have heard several ads specifically from credit unions that are opposed to this bill. So I guess I'll go on NCUA's website and see whether or not they've taken a position, on this bill, or maybe I'll just Google it and see where NCUA stands on the introduction of this bill. Because it is going, I can see where it's going to affect credit unions and smaller institutions, because if I'm not mistaken, those financial entities that are exempt from the law are those that carry, was it 100 million? Like was it $100 million in assets? No, those that carry $100 billion in assets. This bill would not affect them. And from what I was reading, I think that amounts to about 30 institutions. But everybody else is going to, all the other financial institutions, including credit unions, smaller banks, they're going to be affected by this.
So you're saying that the smaller financial institutions would not be able to charge those fees?
No, it's not that they wouldn't be able to charge the fees. It's that in addition to a third party, in addition to someone else other than Visa and MasterCard processing these credit card transactions, your company could enter into that space where you may not charge as much as Visa or MasterCard. So for the consumer, that'll certainly work out for the businesses as well as the consumer, because if your business can go from a 3% fee to a 1% fee, that's going to certainly make the merchant happy.
Right.
And ultimately the customer.
So it's a competition bill, is basically what you're saying.
Yes.
So they want more competition in there.
Yes. That's exactly what it is. In fact, within the name of the bill itself is the Competition Act.
Okay.
I mean that's part of the name. But this is more of some Dick Durbin mess, and I can't recall what it was, but his name is linked to something else that was done, that became a game changer in this country, and I can't remember what it was right now. But maybe, yeah, it'll come to me. I'll see if I can find it, because as soon as I do, from what I recall, this was
Yeah, I'm just sitting here thinking through it, and my understanding of why a credit union or say a community bank would be in any way opposed to that bill would be, number one, infrastructure, because Visa, MasterCard, American Express, the infrastructure is already there to handle settlements with those entities. I mean, if I'm a credit union and I am offering my customers a Visa or MasterCard stamped card to use. I already have the infrastructure built in to my platform to handle those payments. And I know that I probably only have to deal with what, 3 or 4 maybe at American Express, those credit unions that will deal with American Express. And there's a couple of others that I can't think of right now that you might have to make sure that their software links with your software for settlement and for actual payments. The other thing is, why do banks or credit union or community bank or whatever, why do they even link themselves with Visa and MasterCard? It's another source of income.
Mm-hmm.
So the amount of flow that you get, and I'm sure there are levels to this, and this is something that, we get into looking at income streams for our credit union, is you're getting a small amount of every one of those transactions that is coming from a card that was issued through you. You're scraping a little money off of that every time one of your customers uses a card and all that stuff. So you don't want that to be depleted necessarily. So I think as a credit union, you're kind of caught in between, because you do want lower cost of financial transactions, everything for your members.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, balancing that against the income that sustains you as a credit union. Right. So, yeah, I have to say I was pretty much unaware of all of that, and I need to take a look at it myself. I wonder what NCUA's position is on it.
Yeah.
And
it only drew my interest because it was one of the, what is it? Pandora. It's like a music station. It has ads. And one of the more consistent ads that has, come across has come from the Association of Credit Unions that are opposed to this. So that's what kind of drew my interest to it. And in fact, when you Google the Durbin Marshall credit card, act, before you even get to it, Google has these sponsored websites that they allow to come before anything. Well, the credit unions that are opposed to this are leading that sponsorship, how it's going to affect them, and how you can how you can help to stop it and join with us, and I mean, they got all kinds of stuff on there. So because I heard the word credit union being used in a sentence, I just my ears kind of perked up, and in looking into it, that's what I was able to find. So but again, I'm going to look to see, I'm going to just take a look and see whether or not NCUA has taken a position on this one way or another. They may have issued a press release that we're not aware of, but we'll see. So what do we think in terms of let me see something here. So our first webinar is going to be March the 24th. We'll be meeting on the 22nd. So what is the thought on maybe having this discussion either on the let me think for a second. 29th. What about having this discussion on April the 5th? And I'm choosing April the 5th over either the 22nd of March or the 29th of March, because the 22nd is going to be a couple of days before the webinar. And the 29th, I'm going to assume, is going to be a day that we're going to want to process what took place on the 22nd. I mean, I'm sorry, what took place on the 24th, when that first webinar is concluded. So what about April 5th? That we start to lay out some sort of skeleton outline as to how we are going to, the steps we're going to have to take to assume control of a credit union.
It works for me. I have no problem with
that. Does anyone have any questions on, or questions, concerns, or comments on the things that Edward and I have been discussing?
But let me say it's definitely something we need to consider and discuss and deal with. So whether we do it at a particular time or over a period of time, and it needs to be dealt with. We need to make sure we're going to deal with one way or another. Mm-hmm. And I'm sorry I haven't been as vocal, but I'm.
No, I know where you are.
I would just be giving an opinion, and we know there's plenty of that flowing around. In fact, I'm kind of surprised you on this call, because there's a deadline. What, tomorrow? For Monday.
For corporate.
This is Sunday, right? Yeah.
Yeah, it's Sunday, the 15th.
Escorts and partnerships. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten all mine on extension, so I'm not.
Oh, okay.
I did that yesterday. I made sure I put them all on extension, so I'm not worried about it. One I got to deal with, but the rest of them.
So having said that, would your preference be for the 19th of April as opposed to the 5th?
Is that a rhetorical question or what?
Well, I mean, I would.
It had to be.
All right.
His answer is yes. but that does not ensure that he will be actually out from under the pile of tax returns.
On the 5th, I will not be. Believe me.
For sure.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm doing a tax return now. I gotta. So I'm listening and working.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Uh, okay.
So yeah, maybe the 19th makes more sense. Because I'm sitting here thinking that Adam's input is going to be important
mhm.
because he'll see things in a financial statement
Y'all
that
excuse me. Y'all excuse me just one moment.
yeah
I
that
gotta.
I'm going to overlook. So yeah, so I think the 19th or even later would probably work. Would probably work better because your input's definitely going to be needed on some of the finer points, especially.
Yes, sir.
Also, while Imam Talib was there, got an email from Sister Felicia Davis, who's with us today, regarding a financial program that comes on Sirius XM broadcast. I think I'm going to go back to the email so that I don't mess this up. It comes on daily at 2 p.m., and I'm assuming that's 2 p.m. Central Time, since she is in Central Time as I am. And her show often highlights organizations and initiatives that focus on community empowerment and education programs, very much like what we're doing. Possibility of us appearing on that program, and she did give the contact information. It's a Karen Hunter show. I'm unfamiliar with it. Maybe some of you are familiar with it, but I'm going to share that information with everybody. I'll share her entire email with everyone. So just some more food for thought for exposure, which is why she sent it to me, is just getting more exposure for what we're doing. So I did want to put that information there. Excuse me. It's something that we can explore as well.
So you can Google the Karen Hunter show, and it does something does come up. Okay, looks like yeah, she's got Reverend Dr. Otis Moss, Yana Van Zant, Paul Coates. All right. I mean, there's something for us to look at. All right. I've never heard of the show.
I'm a regular listener to her program. She has she's a thought leader. She and Dr. Greg Carr out of Howard University have for I think almost 5 years they've had a program on Saturday afternoons that I listen to in class with Carr. She's a former Hunter College professor of journalism, and again, I think you could call her a thought leader, in the African American community. And
Okay. And Edward, how did you say she came to contact you?
No, Karen didn't contact me. Sister
Oh,
Felicia Davis, who is a friend of
oh, she
mine
was
and
on.
a friend of Graceline. I think she's
Yeah, she
still
was
on
on the
with us.
call earlier. Okay.
Yeah, I think she's still with us, but
Okay.
she emailed me the information. I've now shared it with everybody,
Okay.
Graceline as well.
Okay.
So, I mean, if it's something that we're open to, we just need to formulate the proper approach to her show. See if we might be able to get on there for a segment.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Okay. Yeah, she covers a wide range of topics: politics, culture, history, or health. The goal is the same: to equip our people with knowledge to build community and to move us forward together. Okay. All right. All right. And from what she's saying is she's looking for information that's going to transform people. All right. All right. Well, yeah, I have no objection to it. I mean, anything to get us out there. I mean, any opportunity we have like this, I look at it like going on Shark Tank. Just have a pitch, a presentation, and be able to offer some solutions to the problem. And be in where we are right now, particularly with Omar's financial freedom plan. We have that to offer. I think I'd want to try to stay away from any statistics per se, and try to deal more with offering solutions. Because I think people are inundated with the problem because they're living it. But it's the solutions that are going to make the difference, and also recognizing that even if you were to offer the best solution, there's only going to be 1 or 2 people out of 10 that's going to take us up on it. I still want to get those T-shirts printed that say if they'll only listen.
And I think to accept, let's say we accept the 10% rate of people to listen, brother, you can't get much better than that. I don't know of any organization
I agree
that can do that. So that we had to see that as a success.
I agree. There's no question about it.
Look, we can't even get people to join for free with free information that's helpful to their lives. And we're having to pull them by, the hair of their chinny chin chin to just get them to fill out a membership form. So yeah, 10%. I take it all day long.
Yeah, I mean, and that's being generous.
Yes.
Because then there's then there's follow through. Because that's what I'm looking to see with the with these webinars, because it's going to be 5 of them. This first go round. So, we'll have the attendees on that first Tuesday. But then let's see where it goes the following 4 Tuesdays. That's even those that pay, they may not follow all the way through.
Well, if they've looked at this, well, we have the benefit of having been involved from inception to this point, so we know what's coming, right?
Yeah.
If the people who sign up for this and pay have any foresight whatsoever, man, that first meeting is going to lock them in for all 5. They will not want to miss
Right.
anything based on what I've seen.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
I just and I've had the luxury, as many of you have, to also be aware of other 50, 30, 20 initiatives that are out there in the marketplace. Everything from, what Nerd Wallet does and all these other groups. They're not doing what we're doing. So I think anybody that actually gets engaged is not going to have any problem whatsoever getting through all 5 seminars. It's going to be must-see TV for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to maintain a positive outlook.
Yeah. I mean, this is good stuff. There's a reason that months, you're getting into a couple of 3 years, after Senator Warren first threw this 50-30-20 plan idea out there,
Mm-hmm.
that it's still gathering momentum, that people are still talking about it, telling other people about it, and even now people creating, competition to it, with 60-30-10s and all that type of thing. So I think this is going to be good. So anything else?
I like to agree with you, and it's an organic process in terms of all the areas of or domains that we have to establish, in education, economics, governance, and culture. It's an organic process, and the book tells us that most of the people don't know, and if they don't know, then they're not going to do. But the patience and perseverance of the knowledgeable are the ones that are going to find ways to establish institutional life in these 4 areas. So I'm uh, I'm very much excited about the future and the the thinkers, men and women that are joining on to the process. And it's like community development. A law permits people to come at every stage. We've seen it with the nation, with Imam Muhammad. We're seeing it with Imam Muhammad's leadership uh, associates. It grows organically, and what's needed, like the addition, the very powerful addition of Brother Omar Muhammad, you know, and his skill set, and I know it has fortified individuals that have similar skill sets or thinking ability. It has fortified them to know that they've got a heavy hitter joining the team. And I'll stop with that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, there's a lot of progress being made uh, on many fronts. Um, we just need to find a way to bring them to bring them all together for the benefit of the whole. So inshallah, that's what we working toward.
Well, I'll just say what Imam Muhammad shared in Juma Khutbah. I forget the year, but it was about 16 minutes. And at the end of the khutbah, he said that we needed to pray to Allah for what we need and then go get it. Uh,
Mm.
you know, the best practices are in the Quran, the guidance, just being able to find them and being led to them and led to Prophet Muhammad's model in terms of dealing with uh, progress, and dealing with structure and so forth. We are under, in my opinion, an inspired process, that Allah is over this. And the more we not only count on Him helping us, but count on our own intellectual and other attributes being strengthened in the Ramadan process and other processes. Alhamdulillah.
Yes, sir. Yep. All right. So if there's nothing else, I'm going to step off. I got a technician coming here in about 15 minutes, and then then I've got Zoa coming in, and I just took a call from Imam Hamidullah from Norfolk, who's up in Washington, D.C., visiting Imam Sultan over at the Washington Hospital Center. So I'm gonna try to catch up with him while he's here. And
Give my greetings to Imam Sultan if he's able to receive them, and my my love for him,
alhamdulillah.
and we're
Yes, sir.
making dua for him.
Yes, sir. I'll be sure to express that to him. I do understand that he is he's awake. He's alert. They are keeping him there for more tests. But alhamdulillah, he's doing better now than he was when he was admitted last Wednesday.
Alhamdulillah.
So I'm gonna give them a call now, inshallah, and have Hamidullah pass him the phone. So I'll be sure to let him know that you send the greetings and du'as his way. Alhamdulillah. Until then, brothers and sisters, I greet you with assalamu alaikum, or I leave you with assalamu alaikum and Ramadan Mubarak.
Alaikum salam, Ramadan Mubarak.
Ramadan Mubarak.
All right, is there anything else that we haven't covered this morning that we wanted that we would like to deal with? If there is not,
Well, I put a question in the chat.
okay. And that was about getting the flyer, correct?
Yeah, but not that flyer. That he sent me that.
Okay.
I was more interested in trying to get the number of signatures that was needed.
Oh, you're talking about the raw number as far as memberships.
Correct.
Yeah, we need, let's say roughly, we really need probably another 1,600.
Okay.
Because we're right at 1,400.
So now,
Confirmed.
so would I be asking for membership, or would I be asking for pertaining to just the idea of the number of signatures that's needed?
Well, I mean, either one. I mean, you can express it the way that you're most comfortable with. I mean, ultimately, to satisfy the National Credit Union Administration, we need 3,000, let's say a minimum of 3,000 people, individuals, who have a phone number and or an email address. It's better if they have both.
Okay.
But one or the other works. We definitely at some point will turn that list over the NCUA as a form of certification that we have reached that threshold of memberships in Graceline Community.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. Any other questions or concerns or anything else that we need to cover? If there is nothing else, I would like for Imam Tariq Abdul Mu'min to close us out today, if he would do so.
Okay, thank you. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. آمين. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak.
Wa alaikum salam and Ramadan Mubarak, brother. Go have a wonderful day. Everybody have a
You
great
all
day.
too.
All right. All right.
And Brother Hassan, I will call you this afternoon.
Okay. All right, inshallah.
So.
All right.